Hello my fellow oddities, and welcome to another design ranking video, and potentially our last, at least for an individual characters, since we're running out of characters that have 10 or more designs for me to make a full video on. So for the future, I'm probably going to have to bundle up multiple characters into one video, or start re-ranking the characters that I've already covered earlier on the channel. But today, we will be ranking the designs of the Mortal Kombat Royal Rumble 2024 winner, which you can watch in the top right hand corner, Shao Kahn. For those who haven't seen the previous ranking videos, let's reiterate the rules. The first rule is that I will only be considering designs from Mortal Kombat games, which means no comics, movies, or cartoons, or any other game franchises a character may have made an appearance in. The second rule is that I will not be ranking any repeated or reused designs, which means no recreated classic costumes from later games, or most of the costumes from Mortal Kombat Armageddon. The third rule is for Mortal Kombat 11 only, and it's that I will only be ranking designs included in the story mode, since MK11 has a lot of designs that just aren't worth talking about. And the fourth and final rule is that I will not be ranking any designs from Mortal Kombat mobile games, only console releases. Now, let's get on to Shao Kahn's 11 designs. At number 11, we have the Mortal Kombat 1 Krampus design. This is meant to be a themed skin released around Christmas time, and it's meant to turn Shao Kahn into the Christmas/horror legend Krampus. The fur hoodie is a cool look, but overall, Christmas themed designs aren't really my favorites, and this one is kind of bland for the most part, plus it doesn't really incorporate a lot of Shao Kahn's iconic design aspects, which the best themed designs should still be able to do. For example, Kenshi's Ronin design from Mortal Kombat X that I talked about in my last ranking video. So yeah, it's just kind of there, and it serves its purpose, I guess, but the other designs give off more Shao Kahn vibes. At number 10, I have the Mortal Kombat 1 Order of Light design, or at least I think that's what it's called, and this one is super generic. It doesn't even have a mask, which pretty much ruins any Shao Kahn design since it's his main feature and is the only thing that separates him from a character like Reiko. The best thing about this design is, I guess, the shoulder pad. That looks pretty cool, but other than that, it just looks like a generic Shaolin robe, which obviously doesn't really fit Shao Kahn, but since this is supposed to be a good or Order of Light version of Shao Kahn, I can give it a little bit of a pass. But overall, at number 9, I have another Mortal Kombat 1 design. Yeah, not a great look. Literally. I have the Order of Darkness design here. It looks cooler than the previous one, so that's why I have it higher, but it doesn't really look any more like Shao Kahn. I like the hood. I like that it feels evil-er, which is obviously fitting, and I also like the giant spiky shoulder pad, but overall it still feels just whatever. This is one of the problems I have with Mortal Kombat 1. The designs are about on the same level of quality as Mortal Kombat 11's designs, but there's less of them. And I don't even talk about most of the Mortal Kombat 11 designs because of just how unnoteworthy they are. And it's kind of the same thing here. Like, borderline, I don't even really want to talk about these. Number 8, I have the Mortal Kombat 1 default design. Now, it probably seems like I'm being harsh, which maybe I am, but let's be honest here. I feel like most people would have this design pretty low on their ranking. It doesn't really seem like anyone likes the giant horns, which I personally think just ruins the design's chances at being great. The rest of it is just basic Shao Kahn. The mask is a little different, but I still think it looks fine. To be a bit more positive, I do like how this version of Shao Kahn has a bit more, I guess, brutal weaponry than just the hammer. He has the giant battle axe. He has the giant knife machete thing. It feels a lot more brutal and war ready, I guess, which I like for Shao Kahn. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's get into the designs that I think feel more like the character. At number 7, we got another and our last Mortal Kombat 1 design, which the bottom 5 designs have all been Mortal Kombat 1 designs. There's not a single Mortal Kombat 1 design that is above another design from another game, which is very sad. But here I have the Deception outfit. Now, I'm not supposed to include recreations, but as we all know with Mortal Kombat 1, the recreations aren't real recreations, and so I do have this one here. There are a few differences, the major one being the horns, which, yeah, this design would have probably been goated if it wasn't for the horns. They look so out of place, like, even just looking at the design, like, overall, especially just looking at the head, like, they just make the whole thing feel off, and I hate it. It's so close to being perfect. Now, it's still by far the best Mortal Kombat 1 design that he has because it includes so much from a design that's a lot higher on this list, but I just can't get past the horns, which just get in the way too much. Like, I even know, I'm pretty sure this is an unpopular opinion because I feel like most people are able to look past it, but I'm just not able to. At number 6, I have the Mortal Kombat 11 default design. I feel like this one is a little mixed within the community. Some people love it and think it's a great way to update the character, and some people think it's over-designed and makes a lot of unnecessary changes. Me, I'm somewhat in the middle, but leaning towards the latter. To start off with what I don't like, I'm not a fan of the gold mask. It feels too clean, I guess, for a character that I like being visceral and brutal, and I also think the white bone mask has a little more pop and contrast to the design. I also don't really like the black collar thing that he's wearing. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it doesn't feature on any other Shao Kahn design, and I think it gets in the way. There's another design that doesn't have this in Mortal Kombat 11, and it's basically the same design as this, but without that, and it looks much better in my opinion. I don't hate the dragon arms with the spikes and stuff, but I feel like they do overdo it a little bit. I feel like just make the spikes more subtle, maybe lighten his skin tone, which does sound kind of crazy, but you guys know what I mean. Other than that, I like it. The helmet looks good, I like the shoulder pads, and I really like the colors and placement of those colors. Decent Shao Kahn design. At number 5, I have the Mortal Kombat Deception alternate design. This is probably a design you'll see at the bottom of most people's lists just because the helmet isn't exactly how it usually is, but I actually quite like it. I think for MK1, I think they should have taken from this design for General Shao because it makes it feel like Shao Kahn isn't at the top, not the Emperor, but maybe 1 or 2 levels below that. I think in the story, this is the version of Shao Kahn that appears when Onaga comes back, and it makes him feel like he's on the run or rogue, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. But the designs above this are a bit more imposing and have that big Emperor feel, and this one doesn't exactly feel like Shao Kahn compared to those ones. At number 4, I have the classic Mortal Kombat 2. Now, a lot of the classic MK designs don't really hold up when you place them right next to the designs that we get nowadays, but this design is not one of them. This is still a great outfit that has a lot of iconic design aspects that have persisted throughout pretty much every design up until the more recent games. There are 3 words that should describe every Shao Kahn design: barbaric, evil, and powerful. And I think this design really just embodies all of those. I love the colors, the mask, the skulls, the huge spikes. I really like the spikes on the top of the helmet. They should definitely bring those back. They look super cool. I also really like the way that the eyes look. It really only works in that pixelated form of those classic games, but the way that the mask makes his eye sockets look completely dark other than the red glowing eyes just looks so awesome, and I miss embracing that stuff in Shao Kahn designs since we don't really see it too prominently in nowadays Shao Kahn designs. But yeah, this design just speaks for itself, but I still got 3 designs above it. At number 3, I have the Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks design. This is pretty similar to Mortal Kombat 2. Almost too similar, but there are some minor changes. There's a little bit more gold lining, the mask is a bit of a different shape, and the most major change is actually not even in the in-game render. In this image, you can see that he has these large horns, kinda like MK1, but a lot more basic, and I think they blend super well into the mask, and they don't look nearly as bad, and it's actually a nice change of pace compared to the regular helmet, which usually has these, I don't know what you'd call it, but like these things that like go, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, you can see it on the helmets, okay? You know what I'm talking about. Other than that, it's pretty much the same design as MK2, but I like it a little bit more, mostly because of the better graphics. The runner-up at number 2, I have the MK9 design. What can I say about this one that hasn't been said already? This is the perfect redesign of classic Shao Kahn that keeps all the iconic imagery for the character while also adding its own touches to make his personality and status shine even more. I really like the mask on this one. The skull looks, I don't even know what the right word is, raw or visceral. It just makes him seem a bit more savage, with it being actual bone compared to the more metal or clean white material that the other designs have, and also the fangs look really awesome. It makes him look angrier and more intimidating, especially with the orange red eyes that he has with the cat-like pupils. The rest of the design is just a great modern revamp of the classic outfit with some minor improvements. I think having these chainmail parts on his legs help make his outfit look a little less naked, or I guess the best way to say it, and I don't mean this offensively, but a little less gay. But yeah, this design is awesome, and I wouldn't be mad if you had it at number 1, but for me personally, there's a design that's just a tiny bit better. And that is my number 1 pick, the Mortal Kombat Deception default design. Now, you might be thinking, wait, where's the MK vs. DC design? Well, I didn't include it because I thought it was too similar to this design. It's basically just this one with a more MK9-like mask, which is why it was used in the opening scene of MK9 instead of the default one that we just talked about. But this Deception design is great. I think it has the best mask in terms of shape. It makes him look very intimidating, especially with the red eyes and the darkness around them that I talked about earlier with the MK2 design that, again, needs to be brought back and more punctuated. The images they have don't really do this design justice since it washes out all of the colors, but in the in-game render, they pop out a lot more and are a lot more saturated. Now, I could ramble on about minor details and stuff about why this design is the best, but it's all just stalling for what the real reason is. The cape. Cape Shao Kahn is the best Shao Kahn, just like with Raiden, and I hate that for both Raiden and Shao Kahn, recent media has just ditched the cape entirely for whatever reason. It looks awesome. It just completes the design and makes him seem more powerful and like a true emperor. And that's the best thing you can do for a Shao Kahn design. And with that, that's it for today's design ranking. Let me know which characters you want to see next, and I say characters with an S because I'm probably going to have to cover multiple characters in one video, so, suggest a bundle of characters that have some sort of relation to each other that I can cover all in one video. Also, check out the links to my merch store, Twitter, and Instagram in the description below. And while you're down there, give this video a like to show your support. Also, subscribe and turn on the notification bell to know when I next upload. And with that being said, that's it for this video, my fellow oddities. I'll see you next time.